watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. You better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Christmas episode of the Blockbuster Show. I am joined by Patrick.
Yo.
And Dave once again.
Sup?
And oh god, what did we just sit through?
A shit ton of bad jokes. Yeah. That's what.
Yeah, we sat through Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. And I pitched that to you last year when we did the Grinch movie. Mm-hmm. Now, just to be clear, none of us saw the original Jack Frost movie. So this makes the second Blockbusters episode in our entire catalog where we haven't seen the first movie. Thankfully, I went on IMDb and read the description for it, and here's the description for the first movie. After an accident that left murderer Jack Frost dead in genetic material, the vengeful killer returns as a murderous snowman to exact his revenge on the man who sent him to be executed. Well, okay, sounds like a really cheesy B-movie type of premise, but you know what? I can get behind it. It's a straight-to-video movie, so whatever. Now, how can you take that and make a sequel out of it? Well, the premise on IMDb is even shorter than that for this one. It's one sentence. The mutant killer snowman returns to kill more people during Christmas. That's it. That's the description. That's the premise. That's it. We've been on a string of bad movies that are trying to be self-aware with how bad they are. First, Birdemic 2,
yep.
which me and Mike did for Halloween. Then in November, I had to sit through Amazing Bulk. Like, it's this weird subgenre of movies where it's trying to be funny with how bad it is, but it's... Oh god, this...
Succeeding at points and failing spectacularly at
Does that mean we're covering Sharknado series next?
I think at some point we gotta look at Sharknado.
We do have to. It's significant enough in culture and bad enough that warrants our attention.
We have to look at all of them. We're gonna have to look at all of them, wouldn't we?
Might as well get them all done.
Significant enough that it warrants actual advertisement on TV.
We might do that next year for Halloween. So let's get some backstory. Jack Frost was a horror movie that was straight to video because in the late 90s there were a lot of horror movies based on fairy tales. There was obviously the Leprechaun movies with Warwick Davis, and then there was even stuff like Rumpelstiltskin, Pinocchio's Revenge, and of course Jack Frost was one of them. Now we get the second one, but the theme of this movie is that this time around it's on a tropical island. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which is totally normal, you know, because Snowman, tropical island, what could go wrong there?
I mean, I can even see that that's what they were trying to do, like, you know, it's the tropics, but the snowman, but it's... Okay.
And then it freezes and it ends up being a winter wonderland.
And it starts snowing, which, considering that this is the same year where, well, this year anyway, not the year the movie came out, considering that this is the same year where apparently Texas and California got some snow, I guess a snowstorm in the tropical climate isn't too much to expect. Mm-hmm. Oh god. So okay, the main character Sam, who is a police officer, he's been traumatized since the last movie, and you know, rightfully so. I mean, a killer snowman kills a lot of the people in your town, so naturally you'd be a little
PTSD,
yeah.
Post-traumatic snowman disorder.
That was funnier than anything in the movie. That was a lot funnier than anything.
Him sitting, rocking back and forth, and mumbling to himself was probably the most entertaining thing besides the tits in the entire movie. Second or third movie from the Blockbuster series where there's been nudity.
Yeah, the other one was Birdemic 2, which was in one scene. This one had more than Birdemic 2.
Yeah.
So, and I think the other one was Where the Dead Go to Die. By the way, still worst movie we ever did. Ever. Worst film ever. That's worse than Cool Cat. By a huge... Oh, God. That's the one thing I can say about this movie. Unlike Cool Cat and Amazing Bulk, this movie didn't have Comic Sans. So good on them for that. It didn't have dank font. So...
Dank font.
Okay, so Sam and his wife decide that they're going to take a vacation in the tropics to try and get away from the more depressing tone in the neighborhood. So, and they're also going along with this couple who are about to get married. They're going to get married on the island, apparently. So they fly out, and Meanwhile, while that's going on, in a science lab, a couple of scientists dug up the antifreeze, which is how they killed Jack Frost in the first movie.
Well, technically, some kind of thug dug up the body. All you see is two guys, one with a weird-ass southern accent.
Oh,
another
God,
with
yeah.
a shovel. It's like, oh, are you sure this is the place? Blah, blah, blah. Conversation back and forth. And he said there's a reward involved. They start discussing that. Blah, blah, blah.
So, what you fixing on doing with this stuff anyway?
I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you afterwards. Then again.
They go underground and then you just hear the gunshot because they couldn't show it.
Well, it's funny because later on in the movie we do see the former special agent with a gun, and he never uses it.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Not once.
So, some scientists, we never find out why these guys are here. I guess they were connected to the first movie. I'm not sure. So, the scientists are studying this antifreeze. And then this is the stupidest thing in this film, and that's saying a lot, because this movie has lots of stupid stuff. So they have a tank where they're putting the antifreeze. They have it levied over with, like, chains, so it's, like, dangling from the ceiling, instead of putting it on a table.
Like an engine block.
That's dumb enough, right? Then it gets worse, because, for some reason, someone decides to put their coffee mug on...
Right on the edge, where
Right.
it can fall in.
Yeah, and apparently the coffee is what wakes Jack up. So, there you go.
Janitor comes in, blah, 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 vacuuming, not paying attention. Takes 3 fucking times to bump one coffee mug that's already on the edge into the tank.
Yeah, like, just had to be one and done on that one.
Yeah. We have to sit there for roughly 30 seconds watching this guy bumping up against the tank.
Yeah.
And then he dies from a piece of glass that
Yeah.
apparently cuts his face in half.
'Cause the tank
It's really in his
explodes.
mouth, but, you know.
So Jack is water, he goes down this drain. Now, next thing we know, he's in the middle of the ocean. There's a couple of castaways on a raft. And for some reason, because of course they have to explain weird things like where Jack
Where he got his carrot nose.
got his carrot nose, and then later they explain where he got his scarf. We really care. The fact that there's a sentient snowman, the one thing...
They can't show the snowman for 50 minutes.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes of this movie, there is no snowman, despite the fact that snowman is in the title. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Takes so long to get to the actual action.
As for the characters, like we said, we got Sam, his wife, the couple that they're hanging out with. We got stereotypical teen girls on vacation who lust over 2 guys who look like early 2000s, like 2004 douchebags. One guy had like frosted tip spikes. He looks like the lead singer of The Offspring, like seriously.
Yeah.
And their acting was great. They act like this.
Hey. Hey.
It's like Beavis and Butthead, but in real life. But
So
no, that's...
Beavis and Butthead probably didn't smoke that much marijuana.
Yeah,
Anyway.
these guys acted like stoners. So they get killed off, and I will say this, as cheap as this movie is, cough cough, the costume for the snowman looks terrible. The actual, like, blood effects looked somewhat passable.
Yeah.
It's weird, it's like certain things
I mean,
they
but
did...
fake blood isn't that hard.
That's true, that is true.
Like, certain things they did well in the effect department, other things they just did horribly, horribly wrong.
The effects on the ice spikes, whenever they showed up, those looked fine.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Those were decent.
those were fine.
Classic horror movie. Oh, let me go off by myself.
Yeah, this movie is
Something
filled with
happens, doesn't come
cliches.
back. I'm gonna go help her by myself.
This movie is a...
Here we go.
This
One last, then that person dies. Who saw that coming?
This movie is a cliche soup. That's the best way to describe it. It's just cliche upon cliche of horror films. Which, you know what, since it's trying to be funny, it's trying to be like, you know, oh, look, we're being cute, we're playing off of horror movie cliches. Fine, but at the same time, the movie does nothing new, doesn't really do anything clever with it.
A few clever moments, but most of them are unintentional.
Yeah. Yeah.
As in, I'm sure the director did not realize that's what was happening.
Yeah.
This part is just so stupid. What happens is, the next day, the guy who runs this island, who I'm just going to call Kmart Michael Caine from Jurassic Park, because that's pretty much what he was. He sounded like, he had the most foppish British accent. He sounded like something out of Monty Python.
An old British guy from the 1800s from India.
Yeah. And
was making references to India. What time period again is this? What year is this supposed to be?
2000, I think, is...
Yeah, because people that fought in India for the British Empire are totally still alive.
Yeah, because at one point he says he's like in the 1800s. I'm like, how are you still alive? They get murdered. The next day, Kmart Michael Caine and his assistant Bobby, who is this basically is just he's a Jamaican stereotype.
Jamaican.
They find the body and they think that it was like a shark that did it. Yes, because sharks were able to get a pair of tongs and then stab them into one of the girl's eyes. That's how
I don't
sharks.
think they were stabbed into the eyes.
Well, if they
I
can
think
fly a
they tied
tornado,
the
I don't see why
eyeballs
not.
to the tongs, which considering the snowman has mitten hands, I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, he has like, it looks like oven mitt hands. And also there's a guy, I think he's supposed to be from the first movie, but it's a different actor. So I think in the dialogue they say something about like, you look different, plastic surgery. So it's like, okay, I guess that guy's supposed to be from the first movie, but
Is this Lord
God,
Eye Patch?
That's it's the eye patch guy. Who
Yeah,
who by the way, every time he
plastic
shows up,
surgery, let me get an eye patch.
every time he shows up in the film, he has this like dramatic music.
Scary dude's already here. Manners?
Well, if it's so important, why don't you just talk to me about it right here?
I have to pee.
Oh.
More and more people die. There's this blonde model and her Asian effeminate photographer. She dies by a head
The
explosion.
typical gay, effeminate Asian photographer dude.
Yeah.
Who also likes women, so maybe he's bi. I don't know.
That's it! You are so fucking dead!
Okay.
Worst character in the movie, let's just get this out of the way. Worst character, Captain Fun. who was-
Captain Fun.
this
You
guy-
were all right. Beginning of the movie. First reference
Go
to
ahead.
Captain Fun.
Looks like we have us a party pooper duper.
Sorry?
Has the grunt monster stolen your happy dust? This is a job for Captain Fun!
I think it would have got a standing ovation if they instantly killed off Captain Fun.
If he was like one of the
Please.
first characters to go, I wouldn't have felt anything. Yes! Yeah! Yeah! Oh, okay. We have our cast of characters, and just the movie drags and drags. Like the first half of this movie, the first 50 minutes till they actually get to the snowman, it is a drag to sit through. Like they barely do anything, and it's just a lot of people standing around talking and
Partying, drinking,
Yeah.
standing
Exposition.
around.
yeah, exposition basically. And when we actually get to the snowman,
filler.
and then when it actually gets to the snowman, like Jack talking as a carrot or as ice cubes, this happens in the movie. This is real.
Yeah.
That was probably the most entertaining stuff up
He
until
is
such point.
such a perv.
Yeah,
He's such a perv.
his carrot nose darts towards like the three teenage girls on the beach.
Oh yeah. And then once we get to the model, he possesses the ice box. So when they take ice cubes, right in the bikini, get them nipples nice and pointy. He is moaning and groaning and exclaiming with pleasure the whole time.
And it's really
really creepy.
Eventually, they come up with a plan because they find out that that a killer is involved. They don't really believe the killer of Snowman theory, like
Jack
most sane
Frost.
people.
The one person who does is apparently has a banana allergy and is somehow connected to Jack Frost.
You remember a year ago when Sam's blood got into the antifreeze? Well, that's when they linked up. Well, maybe when that happened, Jack inherited Sam's banana allergy.
Captain Fun, his plan is to use a party to lure everybody out. Now, this is a costume party.
Like I said, solution to everything.
Yeah.
Party.
And everyone's in costumes.
Eye Patch Man looks like Inspector Gadget.
He does!
We've got a couple of hippies.
Yeah.
We've got
Sam's dressed as a
Captain
hippie.
Fun dressed as a snowboard, and he's even got the fake guy's
The fake tan with the
Looks
goggles.
like-
Point is, of this costume party, Sam, our main character, who is dressed like a hippie, we said that earlier, he attacks the Kmart Michael Caine guy, who's dressed as a snowman. Like, he's dressed as a snowman, and it's weird because he's like, oh, I saw a carrot nose on the ground.
He takes an
But
oar to the side of his head.
Yeah, that was what it was, an oar to the head.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone's just fed up with Sam because they're like, you're losing your mind, there's no killer snowman. And then finally, at this point, we're 50 minutes into the movie, and then a snowman finally shows up.
Wouldn't mind practicing a little breaststroke myself. Always test the water first. Ooh, no, far too warm. Let's stir this party up.
So bad. It's like
It really.
it's boring in a lot of sections.
really is.
Okay, now let's just get to the killer snowballs. That's That's the thing on the poster.
That's the high point.
That's the high point. These things,
which is depressing, but
these
that's the high
things
point.
are basically Gremlins because this takes up like a good chunk of the movie.
Oh,
the
yeah.
movie should be called Revenge of the Mutant
Killer
Snowballs because
children things.
yeah, and they have the most obnoxious voices. Sometimes they're puppets, sometimes they're CG. Also killed the eye patch guy, the Snowballs, when they were alive.
yeah.
They killed the Snow
Oh yeah,
Patch.
because you know he walks over, sticks his hand in one of them's mouth.
Okay, blah blah blah. They discover the weakness of these snow creature things
Bananas.
is bananas because of
And you know,
Sam's.
that comes from someone throwing a cocktail at him.
There was like a montage that was like a war movie where they're just shooting.
Squirting banana juice all over everything in sight, and little hunks of white
banana
goodness are
juice.
exploding. all
Yeah.
over the
By the
place.
way, they reuse footage in this scene. They
All the
reuse
time.
footage several times.
Yep. Why does he keep poking it with the...
I know.
What the?
He cries actual tears.
It's an icicle now.
He kills Kmart Michael Caine and Bobby the Jamaican dude.
Now pronounce you totally fucking dead.
Main character's wife gets trapped inside Jack. Jack's putting like a bunch of sharp ice spikes.
Not into her, around her.
Yeah, around her, which is weird because then he like compresses back into Snowman form.
Honey, you are missing the point. Get it? Get it?
Sam shows up, launches, John Rambo style, launches a banana right into Jack's chest, and he explodes in terrible CG explosion. The CG effects on the snow creatures, that was the worst.
Yeah,
Worst effects.
CG explosion, and then you get like a good 40 seconds of people with buckets throwing red and white slosh onto things in the room. Soap foam on the floor that he's crawling
It's
around
like
and
shaving
trying to find
cream
his
mixed
way.
with shaving cream mixed with like soap foam.
The stuff is also not that deep.
Yeah, it wasn't that deep.
Not deep enough to hide a person, but somehow she's in there.
Yeah, and he's like
Even
sloshing
when
around
he's
for her.
covered the entire floor multiple times, and then, oh my God,
And then-
she's there! I didn't see her.
Yeah, her hand comes up and he grabs
Risen from the grave.
Yeah, pulls her out of the remains of Jack Frost, and then they walk into the ocean, and I guess that's how the movie just kind of ends. Like he's carrying her, and they walk into the ocean. I guess that's their means of getting back home. Just walking
and
into
then
the
in
ocean like they're
credits, you
Godzilla.
get Godzilla.
Yes, the credits have a Godzilla scene. That was your favorite.
Yes, because it was hilariously in that style where it was like the off movement dubbing for the mouth. And everything.
It was funny.
That
it
little
was funny.
clip
I was proud of
funnier
them.
than the entire movie.
You're not lying. That small thing at the end was funnier than anything in this film. In fact, do you guys think that was supposed to be set up for like a third movie that never went anywhere?
Oh God, I hope not.
I can imagine it. Like it could be like Revenge of the 80,000 foot mutant killer snowman. The overall final thoughts. Yeah, this movie sucks. This movie really does. This is like the last few months of Blockbuster movie reviews have been a trilogy of movies that are trying to be so bad they're funny.
Can we do a good movie?
I watched Snow Day recently. Snow Day's not that bad. Oh God, so yeah, screw this movie. Out of the three movies that I've seen for the show, I'd rather watch this than Birdemic 2. I hated that so much.
And that was the best one? Wait, no, that was Sharknado that we were talking about, wasn't it? The
yeah.
sequel was better than the original.
Yeah, it's like in between Amazing Bulk and Birdemic 2. Birdemic 2 I hated. This was like Amazing Bulk was bad, but it was kind of laughably bad in a lot of spots. This was like laughably bad in some spots, but for the most part, it wasn't that kind of like... It wasn't like Killer Klowns from Outer Space, which we also reviewed.
That was good.
That was like... Because that was supposed to be like a, this is a stupid premise, but you're supposed to laugh at it. That was funny. I mean, I really want to put this into perspective. I hated these three movies, but out of all of them, Amazing Bulk was the best. Yeah, even though that movie was confusing as all hell, that movie was more comprehensible, and that movie made no sense whatsoever. Now, out of these other two, I would happily sit through Jack Frost 2 more, mainly because the effects and the production and a couple of actual funny lines. Birdemic 2, that was easily like the worst movie of the entire season. This entire season of Blockbusters that is quite possibly one of the worst movies. I don't know if I can say the worst because, again, this is the same season where we saw Meet the Spartans, but I guess that's how we're going to end Blockbusters Season 4. We look forward to seeing you guys in Blockbusters Season 5, and hopefully the movies we look at next year are better than some of the movies we looked at this season. So, until then, guys, we will see you next season for Blockbusters Season 5.